Hello and welcome back to Big Nemo Gaming. Let's play Stellaris Apocalypse. We are playing as the Democratic Elvanian Republic, and we have recently established a federation, the Grand Alliance. We reached out to the High Kingdom of Ganvius Primus, and they agreed to join us in our hope for galactic peace and unification. It's very nice because they are a similar empire to our own in that they have a single planet. Rather than, colonizing every world they come to, they just have one nice planet that they call home up here in the Ganva system. They are also fanatic pacifists and xenophiles, so that's cool. They like other species, so we should get along quite well. We are hoping, or we have brought some other empires into our federation with association status, including the Interstellar Peninsula Hegemony, the Kelbrid Grid, and the United Dolmar systems. Really, we did all this in response to aggression by the Raxcodium Confederacy and Aklar Prime against the Kelbrid Grid. They both declared war independently. I don't think they're parts of the same war, and are attempting to wipe out the Kelbrid Grid, which is truly unfortunate. And the Kelbrid Grid seem to be a decent species. They're rogue servitors, so I don't think we need to I don't see why there was this unchecked aggression. Unfortunately, our fleet, since joining the Federation, is a little bit oversized, and we are taking a bit of a hit to our economy because of that. We should have some options available, though, in research. I believe we're getting fairly close to being able to expand that fleet capacity. And I think what we'll want to do is, we've got a ton of influence, so we're going to enable capacity overload. And there we go. Now we've got 68 energy credits in the black. Very, very nice. And let's see what other options we have available to us here. So yes, Zhang Pan is currently researching naval capacity. We'll get another 30, so we will be in great shape very soon. And yes, last time we did lose a few leaders. Everybody's pretty young, so we've got a long ways to go. We've got a few techs that we're hoping to unlock soon. Dark matter, we'll see what happens with that. I don't think I've ever researched that before. I think what's nice is that, we're at 64% of physics research, even with a 2-star scientist. So, overall, I'd say our empire is very strong. We've got agreement with the curators and lots and lots of research facilities throughout the galaxy. And oh yeah, one of the things that we had go wrong was we agreed with those, I can't remember their species name, but to inoculate us, and we were incompatible. So our leaders aren't living as long, or who cares about growth, but we're minus 20% happiness for 1,700 days. So yeah, that kind of stinks. That's what, like 5 years or something like that? Somewhere thereabouts. So 5 more years, which is really a blink of the eye in the grand scheme of things. So we're not terribly concerned. But it'll be nice to get rid of that so that our population is a little bit happier. And our stations are all doing pretty well. I like these alert indicators, but sometimes, they're a little bit misleading. I don't care to build anything else. There's nothing that beneficial in my home system. Yeah, and you see here our happiness is just not that great. If we could, once we get that inoculation sorted out, then I think we'll be in much better shape. We do have some happy pops, and those that aren't completely happy or totally content, I think we will, we'll gain a lot of happiness later. This cyto-revitalization center isn't really necessary anymore, so I think we'll replace it probably with clone vats, so we can get some clone armies going, because we're going to want to go to war soon with the Raxcodium Confederacy. And this will help us build up an army for cheap. I don't like throwing away the Unity for the Gene Clinic, but we don't need growth anymore. So it really is, I think, the best option available. And yeah, the assault army, the strength is pretty much the same. Clone army does a little bit more collateral damage, but is cheaper, and that's okay because we're not really looking to take over anything. We're simply looking to demoralize and destroy an enemy empire. So yeah, I think that's a good plan. I mean, we currently have 5 society research. We actually gain society research moving forward with that. So I think that's a solid move. And then I think we'll upgrade some stations to improve our border security with the Raxcodium Confederacy. And the Astaria station, I don't think that's necessarily worth upgrading to a Star Fortress. That's just going to cost some more money. We're in good shape as it is, and our fleets are going to be far stronger, I believe, than the Raxcodium Confederacy anyways. So we don't have that much to gain. And do a little bit of fleet cleanup. Not sure why these didn't automatically aggregate into the fleet that they were set to reinforce, but that's okay, just Stellaris things. We'll get that sorted out in no time at all. And we have some idle construction ships, or an idle construction ship, and idle science ship. So we'll get them rolling. And we finally started to survey along our southern border, which for some reason our science ships were not really that committed to. They just go flying to the other side of the galaxy, pop through a wormhole or something. I mean, what is that? You know? And as we have been doing, we'll just continue to push to the galactic south with our construction ships. One of the things we need to remember to do at some point, though, is go back through and repair all the damage done by those Malwagal raiders. Okay, association offer.
Construction complete.
Protective post juke. I don't see why not. I mean, they seem... Where are they at? I think they're to the south of Aklar. Yeah, so if they're bordering Aklar Prime, that's fantastic. We would love to bring these guys into the Federation, because now we've effectively surrounded Aklar Prime, and we can push into them from all sides. Welcome aboard. Alright, yep, so let's get to our construction ships in the core of our empire, working towards rebuilding what those raiders had destroyed. I mean, man, they annihilated us. And Ganavius Primus wants to establish a trade agreement. A research agreement seems good. Any sort of boost I can get. And frankly, if they're a member of our federation, I am more than happy to include them in a research agreement to bring them up to our level of technological achievement. Because the stronger our allies are, the stronger we are. And the stronger our united front will be against folks like the Malwagal Raiders. Because, frankly, these guys are just a pain. Know of good raiding target. I'd love to send them on a raid, but unfortunately, if I send them out on a raid, they are just going to annihilate our allies. They're just going to crush the Kelbrid grid, and that's... Yeah, that wouldn't be good. That would really suck.
Technology discovered.
Okay, our clone vats are complete, so we can get going on producing some clone armies. And you know what? I like to think that we are simply cloning Sanjana Arcaria. We kept her genetic materials, and now she is our army as well, as former first scientist and discoverer of the Voltom homeworld.
Survey complete.
Got a few options for society research here. I think that, yeah, Galactic Administration giving us the Empire Capital Complex, that's pretty nice. Anytime we can upgrade existing infrastructure, I think is a good idea. Since we can't colonize any other worlds at this point in time, there is one Gaia world kind of between the IPH and the Kelbrid grid, but I don't have a direct route to it. It's going to kind of split my empire a bit and bring me almost adjacent to the Malwagal Raiders, so I don't think that's a great idea. And Strike Force Chimera, I think we can start to reinforce a bit to, equalize strength between Chimera and Werewolf. I don't want either fleet to necessarily be significantly weaker than the other.
Construction complete.
Yep.
Construction complete.
So we don't have any vision into the Kelbrid grid or really the Raxcodium Confederacy right now. So I think maybe we just set this up, get an active sensor link going, so we can see things to the south there. And there we go. So you have a 2,000 military power fleet sitting on the Kelbrid grid's border. I would assume that they are going to push in and attack soon. Recruit our first general of the game. I like the idea of being frugal with our army leadership. Imamu.
Construction complete.
Imamu, I've come to bargain. I know it's Dormammu, but still. Imamu Namani has come to bargain with his clone army of Sanjana Arcarias. We are all Sanjana Arcaria.
Survey complete.
Alright. And the Kelbrid grid has agreed to our terms. Of course they have. It's completely in their favor. I mean, it's really in both of our favors, but they benefit more than I do, I would say. Because I don't really need them. I'm stronger than the Raxcodium Confederacy. But in the end, I want my Federation to be strong. Now, unfortunately, man, Aklar Prime with a massive fleet has invaded. Yeah, Aklar and the Raxcodium Confederacy are both pushing into the Kelbrid grid. And there's not really much I can do because of, the lack of adjacency to Kelbrid. I mean, the fastest way the shortest route I have to Kelbrid is through Raxcodium territory.
Construction complete.
And I don't really see that happening, So I just continue to build up my army, build up my fleets, and rebuild my economy here, which is now starting to move in the right direction, fortunately. We're at 93 energy credits per month, 109 minerals per month. So this should help us build up a nice surplus, I would say. So I don't think we need to be selective in what we rebuild. I think we need to get our research, moving again at the pace that it was before. So rebuilding all these research stations will be highly beneficial. And as we get our research and industrial capacity back up to where we once were, I think it's a good time to refocus ourselves on this western border and this impending war. Well, the war that's currently really raging between Aklar, Raxcodium, and Kelbrid, and see how we can contribute. I don't see anything else happening elsewhere in the galaxy that really requires our attention. There's nobody moving anywhere else, no other hostilities. We see Kelbrid pushing into Raxcodium territory to kind of conquer some of their space, but I mean, honestly, there's, they're getting crushed, Kelbrid grid is. So we're going to have to jump in here fairly soon. Transport fleet, we've got 300 strength. I'm not a huge, I think we need way more than that. I like 1,000 strength as our marker. Another research agreement, the Zoltec Imperium. I don't know about this, man. These guys are xenophobic and they are militarist. Usually I'm all about building, consensus and relationships. You know, these guys are far weaker than us, so what do I have to gain? It seems like, if anything, I'm going to bring a militaristic society up to my technological level when they're currently just inferior to me? I don't know. That doesn't really add up. I'm going to have to think about it a little bit. For engineering research, got a few options. I think Afterburners is probably the best here. It's really low tier tech that we should just get unlocked so we can open the door to a few more things. It'll help with our combat efficiency a bit. Help keep our ships alive, probably. It's a good time to get the clock rolling again. And Akbar Prime and Ganvius are rivaling each other. It's all well and good. Really doesn't have too much bearing on us. We know what's going on there. So, before this expires, yeah, Zeltek's this large area here, and then there's the regime of Zako, which is a nice buffer. I just feel like accepting this is gonna come back and bite me later if I help them out with a research agreement. Mind you, I'd love to have a federation, you know, across the galaxy, but those guys, they seem like one of the few empires that I don't want in our federation. They're too warlike. Maybe once everybody else is in, we can say either, you know, join us or die. But at this point in time, I'm not willing to welcome them in. So we've still got plenty of resources available. I think we need to burn some of that. This is kind of a bummer. Like, why don't I have a fleet management option, you know, for my transport fleets? That'd be really handy if I had some way of recruiting from the fleet itself, you know, just like I do for my normal fleets. Oh well. Stellaris things, paradox things, right? Why it doesn't exist, who knows? Somebody made that decision somewhere. Not the end of the world.
Construction complete.
Well, and you know, I think, honestly, we're strong enough that we could jump into this, and I think I'm going to have to declare war pretty soon here, because the Kelbrid grid is getting wrecked. They're doing a great job right now of taking out that station in Tissalum, or whatever it is, but Aklar's pushing in. They've got a 6K fleet with a couple of cruisers, 4 cruisers. They're pretty strong right now. 4 cruisers, 14 destroyers, 24 corvettes. Overall, a solid fleet. Okay, Admiral Palashniak, or whatever his name was, is better at you know, supply management and logistics. That's good. It's kind of traits I like to get from my admirals. Just push those maintenance costs down. Yeah, Palashniak. It's much better. It's a nice solid trait to have. Now there are some traits that would help me in combat, but more often than not, fleets are not in combat. They're just waiting, you know, or moving across the galaxy, sitting at a station, sucking up energy. So if we have an admiral who can minimize that, I think that helps our empire as a whole. So we're seeing the Raxconium Confederacy move back toward Tissalum to retake it. I don't see any fleets that are really that strong, though, so I think... Yeah, I mean, their fleet power is inferior, they're technologically inferior. I think we're getting very close to being able to declare war with these guys. And what does the Jolmar want? They want to give us some energy for a research agreement. Absolutely. You know, this is what being in the Grand Alliance means. You know, we will share our technology with you. We will share our knowledge. We've unlocked afterburners, finally. Advanced afterburners is available. Why not? Cruiser hull points was available. I probably should have taken that, but in the end, again, I want to get some of these lower level techs unlocked. And I don't think this is going to be auto-applied to any of my fleet designs, like the Miranda-class Corvette. We're using auxiliary fire control. That might be a good one to kick some afterburners into. I think we'll leave it as is for now, but at a later date, maybe we will we'll add those afterburners. And for our destroyers and cruisers, I definitely don't see a reason to change that. But corvettes, that's probably a good call to help keep them a little bit safer in combat. And the Calbrid Grid's transport fleet's returning to their space. Now, you know, the Raxcodium Confederacy retook Tissalum, which was not unexpected. What's really nice, though, is that Eternal Horizon there is preventing them from being able to attack me in the south, really. So if I attack, I can send both fleets up to Tissalum and then just work around Till and Yan and push into their territory. And that really sets me in a position to conquer a good number of their systems. Now, what would really be nice if I could join a war. I don't understand why that's not a thing. Especially since they are part of or they have association status within our federation. I feel like that just should be an option. Join war, you know. It's odd that that's not an option.
Survey complete.
I don't know if it's an option for some other empires with other relationships, like perhaps if someone attacked Ganvius, or the Kingdom of Ganvia, or whatever their name is. Maybe then we could join them. I don't know. That seems like a pretty significant political option that is not available. And we finished that research a while ago, so we are in much better shape for overall fleet capacity. I think reinforcing Chimera a bit more would be wise. Maybe add another cruiser or two, maybe some destroyers. We're good on destroyers. So maybe a cruiser and some corvettes to get their strength up to be comparable to that of Werewolf. Yeah, the naval capacity readout seems broken. Maybe there's some sort of a bonus somewhere that I'm getting that doesn't calculate on that screen. Honestly, not sure.
Survey complete.
Yeah, we're continuing to build armies. And the Sanjana Arcaria clones. I mean, we have 33 clone armies now. So thousands and thousands of Arcarians. And, you know, yeah, I'd like to get that up to a nice, neat, even 1,000 military power for my invading armies. I feel like that's I have no basis for this number. I just feel like 1,000 is a nice, neat number to start with as we
construction complete.
Enter into our first army, or our first war. I have no previous reference point for this. I haven't looked at their army capacity on their planets. I suppose I could do that, but I think we'll just build up an army that's got 1,000 strength and then head out and see what happens. Yeah, we'll get get a research bonus. You know, kind of burn up some of this influence that we are squandering. I think maybe research grants is a good idea also. It's even more of a research boost. And our armies have finished recruiting, it seems.
Survey complete.
I think we're getting close to done with our preparations. And IPH, they basically want the same deal. You know, give us research, we give you research. Alright. Just a lot of sharing of knowledge and technological capacity. Seems healthy overall. And again, the Raxcodium Confederacy is just annihilating the Calbrid grid. Kind of nice looking fleets there. So I think we're due. I think we are very, very close to declaring war here. I think we can check out our army size maybe. If we're up to 1,000, we're close. We are close. We need to hit that arbitrary number. Just build a bunch of additional armies. Hey, we finished our dark matter research. None of these look that great. Maybe hyper shields. Man, that's 62 months. 20,000 research. Okay, Aklar and Raxcodium have entered a non-aggression pact. That does not bode well for anyone in the Grand Alliance. That these two have decided to, you know, get along, so to speak. So I think it's time. I really do. We can declare war. I guess if anything, maybe we want to get our army closer to the border once they have they've finished reinforcing. And you know, we've still got a few points available to our fleet, and I don't understand. I don't understand why how this fleet power thing works out. Because I go to fleet management, it says I'm at 82 out of 78 naval capacity. Maybe those 8 are, you know, 10% would be... Yeah, I don't know. The math doesn't add up to me. I guess I'll have to research that and figure out how that works. But we can add a cruiser to our fleet, so that's nice. And we have finally reached 1,000 strength within our armed forces. Perfect. We've reached an arbitrary threshold. It took 43 armies to achieve 100 strength. So many thousands of Sanjana Arcaria clones.
Survey complete.
And I think we'll rename these guys here. Call them the Grand Liberation Army. Hopefully that holds, you know, since these are individual armies that are aggregated under this this transport fleet. But it does call it one army, so I think so. And that's our goal. And we are, yep, the only option we have is to impose our ideology, which sounds good to me. If we can make them egalitarian, you know, I think that is a win. When we bring Ganvius Primus in with us, it's probably Primus, but whatever.
Upon our rights. Survey complete.
Okay, we have declared war. And we will force them to adopt our government ethics. Man, yeah, things are not looking good for the Kelbrid grid. I don't know that I can free them. Good rating target. Yeah, and I mean, I could send them after Raxcodium, but again, they'll just run straight through the Kelbrid grid and destroy their infrastructure. I've got plenty of money for it. I just hope that I can push through their system fast enough to free, you know, the Raxcodiums. Or, I mean, not the Raxcodiums, to free the Kelbrid worlds from the Raxcodium Confederacy. Alright. So, I think we're going to want to bombard Verudium, or whatever that planet was. And Reginald Nichols is making his way. First war of the campaign. And I think it's a just war. You know, we've had these fanatic evangelists, these religious zealots in the Raxcodium Confederacy, and we were okay with them until they started trying to push their you know, fanaticism on others. And we're not okay with that. You know, the Kelbrid grid, they were peaceful. They were just, you know, doing their thing, being machines that were self-aware, trying to, you know, understand the universe just like the rest of us. And there was no aggression from them whatsoever. And the Raxcodium Confederacy, I mean, they were making claims on my territory. So I feel I have no qualms about having declared this particular war. It is a just war. Now, there will be loss of life, but sometimes, you know, sometimes these things happen. And it is a shame. I hate to lose good soldiers and good people and good minds and souls because of the aggression of some zealots. But alas, it is necessary. We will do our best to free
Survey
the Kelbrid grid and to guarantee their freedom into perpetuity.
Survey complete.
Alright, so I don't see any fleets that are too much of a threat. I think what I'd like to do is, you know, push Chimera up here to catch up with Werewolf. We'll send the Grand Liberation Army into Verdurium, you know.
Deploying Liberation Forces.
There we go. Even the game knows what's up. Deploying Liberation Forces, that's right. And we are the Grand Liberation Army. And I think we'll get Chimera and Werewolf to link up, ideally. Alright, they had very weak garrison because of our bombardment and our army. We're losing some Sanjanas, but that's okay. You know, we have managed to conquer Verdurium. We got a 3.3k fleet coming in, the blossoming Bion Armada. Not really worried about them though. My fleet is a bit strong. I've got 6k and a 5k fleet. Yeah. There we go. So we will bring Werewolf and Chimera together.
Station under attack.
And I'm okay with this, the Bion Armada or whatever. Go ahead and take Till back. It doesn't really, yeah, Blossoming Bion. It doesn't really matter to me if they manage to conquer that. And honestly, I might jump in at a great time and catch them before they get out. Hey, there we go. Nice. So we're going to annihilate their army as well, I would say, because they're going to be stuck in this engagement. No ships lost and just destroyed them. Took a bit of damage, but that's to be expected. Yep, and they are continuing to pour resources into their navy, and I think this was a little bit unexpected. The Rexcodium Confederacy, you know, their unchecked aggression in the south is going to... It will be their downfall. I'm very confident in that. I do not doubt whatsoever that the Grand Alliance will be successful in our war. Yeah, so... okay, yeah, I'm not that familiar with the, you know, the war's exhaustion display down here. So it's, you know, I was thinking that the percentages were something to do with the war score, you know, which is how it's worked in previous games. So we're 117 war score away from being able to achieve our war goals, which is imposing our ethics on them. And I have every intention of doing that. I have every intention of making them like us. You know, we will make them egalitarian, materialistic. You know, your spirituality has led you astray, Rexcodium. And unfortunately, the Kelbrid grid has just been annihilated. They're still at war. You know, the Kelbrid grid's got a high level of war exhaustion, so they're probably going to end that war pretty soon. Aklar, not so much, but... And on that note, we're going to wrap this up, and next time we will continue to prosecute this just war of liberation. Thanks for joining me. I'm Big Nemo. If you liked the episode, don't forget to give me a like down below, give me some comments, and subscribe if you haven't already. I'll see you next time.